the policy proposed need to improve. Many of the honorables be very objective and have much objective concerns when issues. And again, I would like to add up some areas of consideration in relation to this day of celebration for civic rights. Mr. Speaker, we were here in the year 2023. My honorable member, Ewutu Senya, mentioned the democracy have protested against the government. Mr. Speaker, this hinder the growth of social justice. Again, in the 2019 reference of the arrest in concern and contest again with Ahmed Swali, these as nation also come in context of the press freedom. Mr. Speaker, I cannot talk about this issue with Mr. Speaker. You would find out some rural areas, out of 10 of them are still into the child marriage. And again, even not looking far from ourselves in Parliament here, women representative in Parliament is poor. We have barely 14.5%, and this also hinder the growth of the country. If you look at reference of the Rwanda Parliament, we have over 53-54% of women. No wonder there is growth in the economy. And if we need to encourage ourselves and looking for the benefit and the betterment of the country, we should be very deliberate in helping and securing, helping leadership and encouraging women in leadership. Again, with the gender issues and human rights, the DOSU, that is domestic violence, DOSU annually reports of thousands of these issues. And it's something we need to pay much attention to. Trying to conclude, Mr. Speaker, access to healthcare and education. We have some policies of the National Health Insurance, but it lacks funds. This affects the low incomers. And that is one thing we need to look at and make sure that we try to help ourselves within that policy. And again, on the educational side, you see there is a lot of shortage of teachers in the rural areas. And these do not help the growth of the economy. And as I end, Mr. Speaker, housing and land issues. We look at the rent even in Accra. We look at the land issues even in Kaswa. Land litigation everywhere. Matters of this and such discrimination of the marginalized people so that we can get access for them, people in disability. I think with this and many more, we would have a better position when it comes to social justice. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member. Honorable Member, you have the floor. You have the floor. Honorable Member, if you don't intend to comment, why are you on your feet to catch the eye of the Speaker?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, may I have your permission to yield to my colleague from Akwetia?
No, you don't have the permission.
Okay. That is fine. Then I'll proceed. Mr. Speaker, then I'll proceed. Right Honorable Speaker, then I'll proceed. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Social Justice Day. Social Justice Day.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, take it clearly. When you want to contribute, then you get on your feet. You do not get on your feet to catch the eye of the Speaker. After recognizing you, then you said you want to yield to another member. It doesn't happen in any parliament. Therefore, if you are not ready to comment on the statement, you must not be on your feet.
Right, Honorable
Honourable
Speaker.
members, democracy must be guided. Honourable member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to speak on this issue of social justice. Mr. Speaker, Ghana, like most countries, faces a lot of systemic injustice. Mr. Speaker, I'd like to use this opportunity to comment or to discuss the issue of disabled persons in Ghana. Per the Disability Act 217 of 2006 and Article 29 of the 1992 Constitution, which ensures that disabled people have access to non-discrimination to education, employment, and housing, and also accessibility to public transport and public buildings. Mr. Speaker, as we can tell today, in Ghana, disabled persons face a lot of systemic inequalities. Many buildings and services remain inaccessible to disabled persons. When you look at public
Honourable members on their
transportation,
feet, kindly resume your seat.
when we look at transportation, disabled persons don't have equal access to transportation. When you come to Isikado Ketan constituency,
is that at least we need to be fair to ourselves. Why can't we allow and ask for a simple procedural fairness to happen? Other speakers have spoken already on other things that do happen to us as politicians. The protocol conundrum that we politicians keep giving to people is also
Clearly, what it means is that this chamber has a great future where you have first timers and some senior members making a statement and hearing contributions. Mr. Speaker, before I get into my own contributions, I want to remind colleagues that we need to exercise, because when we stand, we have to stand upright and make our statement. People are always bending. Since you can't stand on your waist, no, you need to stand. Whether a lady or gentleman, stand firm. If there's a problem, let's exercise. We have to exercise so that when we're on our feet, we're able to stand very firm and
Honorable
upright.
Minority Leader, the statement before us is on social justice.
That is true, Mr. Speaker. A good health will contribute to. Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, the honorable members who made this statement drew our attention to a number of issues affecting society. Mr. Speaker, I would want to adopt the three statements. The honorable members who made this statement were coming from me and rely on all of them for records. Except to say that, Mr. Speaker, I don't want this House to be drawn into the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. That conflict has its own history, and we need to be very cautious in drawing that conflict into our discussion in this House floor. And it's for